Natalia Castro आणि देतो मोहक सुगंध.
Welcome, Principal Madam.
Good evening to all.
We are very happy to have you, ma'am, with us. We are aware how busy your schedule is presently because the exams will be starting in December. And we are aware how busy you must be. And yet, as usual, you have ensured that you have taken out time for NSS and all our students. So I know it's a program of college, but let me welcome you on behalf of NSS, madam.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
And many of our first year NSS volunteers are here, madam, today.
Oh, very good.
Yes, and
so all NSS first year volunteers, welcome. I hope you do a wonderful job. There's a huge legacy of NSS activities, and I hope you keep the NSS banner flying high.
And so in a way, this is the first program for our students that we are holding on this platform, where our first year volunteers are now involved. And there are
of NSS activities. Has our guest come?
No, I'm not able to locate him yet. I've sent him the link. we wanted a young and dynamic, enthusiastic person to interact with the young generation, so that they would be much more keen to know about the contemporary uh, connection of constitution
Right.
for them also. So that's why when I was looking for a resource person, I asked few people that I want a young, dynamic person who can connect with the students in a better way. So that was one of the reasons we approached Advocate Saurabh, because we have two good, rather great resource person in our college only if we want to have discussion on constitution. One is of course yourself, madam, because you have a great field of history, so I'm sure you will have very interesting information to share with us at some point of time about constitution. And of course we have Dr. Pramila madam.
Hmm. She is the right person.
uh, Madam, everything is connected to history, right? So I'm sure you will have some perspective on constitution. I'm 100% sure. So this is informal invitation for some future event. So I'm sure.
Why don't you check? Why don't you check with Saurabh whether
I,
he's got the?
yes, I had a word with him. So he has got the link.
Okay.
Yes, he is
Okay.
expected to attend. So I think he'll be joining. Just 6 o'clock is there. So we'll wait for a minute or so.
What is the schedule
Just
now? What do you propose to do?
Madam, we'll start with the very brief introduction of Constitution Day and activities that we do at our college, and followed by, of course, your inaugural address and introduction of resource person, and we will immediately start with the session. So, as quickly as we can get on with the program and help resource person and our students to interact with each other. Pramila madam has joined.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm just
Evening.
checking if Saurabh has joined. I'm not able to. Okay, I'll just check with him. Today we had a very unique approach to celebration of Constitution Day, because last year we had a wonderful program in college, and in college ground we could have oath during the recess. So this was of course not possible this year. So we adopted a slightly different approach. We asked our students to keep preamble of our constitution as their WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook stories and status, so that
Very good.
not only they could read it, but also they could spread the message to all their contacts. So potentially we could say that we have reached thousands of citizens and students through this medium. Our students have also made a few posters, and one of our students has created a rangoli, and I'm waiting for those pictures to come. I hope during the session, if those pictures can come, we can at some point of time flash it for everybody.
Sir has also joined.
Yeah. Welcome, Saurabh sir.
I think some of you should now have your videos on.
Yes.
Can I request all the teachers who are here to have videos on?
Yes, Jain sir is there, Pramila madam is there, of course, Dr. Hirendan sir is there. On behalf of NSS unit of Mulund College of Commerce and Department of Business Law, I welcome Honorable Principal Dr. Sonali Pednekar and resource person of today, Advocate Saurabh Ganpate, for today's session. I will not call it as a webinar. I will call it as a session because we are sure that the interaction will be lively and interaction will be very enlightening for our students. So let us start with today's program. I'm very happy to share with you that each year for last 3 consecutive years now, we have been holding very interesting programs in our college on the occasion of Constitution Day. Each year we have various lectures of resource persons. So Constitution is such an interesting topic that it's a vast, it's an ocean which everyone will be able to understand and interpret in a very interesting manner. So we have been able to provide our students with an opportunity to understand Constitution each year in a better way. So we have series of activities. Of course, we have guest lectures by eminent personalities, and then our students create beautiful rangolis which signify the values and principles enshrined in our Constitution. Uh, we have a wonderful program each year of taking oath by reading preamble that we will abide by the values which are there in our Constitution. And this year we have adopted a slightly different approach to it because we couldn't physically come together to take the oath. We asked our students to read preamble and then put it as their Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram stories as well as status. So by doing this, we have been able to reach out potentially to thousands of students and citizens, and the vision that our founding fathers have seen for our nation. I'm sure we are slowly and firmly walking towards that path. Uh, because of online environment, we could this have opportunity of having an evening session, which I'm sure will be one of the first for our activities in Constitution Day. So this is a something unique experiment we could do. uh, I would like to invite Dr. Sonali Pednekar madam, principal Mulund College of Commerce, for her inaugural address of this webinar. uh, Principal madam, please.
Well, good evening, everybody, and a special good evening to our guest of the day, Advocate Saurabh Ganpate. I would be very happy to have seen every one of you in person in college premises and welcome Advocate Saurabh once again to our college. It's always a delight meeting you, Saurabh. But it is not to be. So as the NSS program officer, Professor Nikhil, has just said, this is the first time that we are having a Constitution Day activity in the evening hours. However, talking about Constitution is so enlightening and exciting that then it doesn't matter which hour of the day it is, whether it is morning or evening. Every time we read it or every time we even have a look at it, it shows us something new and teaches us something more than what we already know. I'm sure you know that to do such an exercise was not a small task at all. So from the time the Constituent Assembly was in place, and even before that, work on what a Constitution of India would look like was already being worked upon. And it is the task of our leaders, national figures, who put all their ideas together and tried to bring together values, guidelines, directives, for all of India to follow for so many years and many more to come. See, we know that we live in a nation of multiple diversities, beginning from topographical, geographical, to regional, linguistic, and so on. I don't need to reiterate these facts. But what really binds us together are the values that are enshrined in our Constitution. And it becomes our duty as educators, as people who understand the nuances in the Constitution. It is our duty to pass on those values and those whatever has been enshrined in the Constitution to the generation that we are teaching, that we are interacting with, the youth of today, so that those very values stay alive in the minds and the hearts of all our young students. And I think this is the reason why the Constitution Day was also celebrated. I would like to take this opportunity to say that who better than Advocate Saurabh Ganpatiye to share these with the youth of today. He is a right person who would shed light on what we want our youth to understand. And the young students, for you, I will like to say that you must pick up all the key points that our guest speaker will talk about, mull over them, think over them, imbibe the ideas presented in the Constitution, and strive to keep our nation united, strive to uplift our people and our nation in a way that would make the Constitution makers proud of us. So welcome, Saurabh, once again, and thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Your words, as always, show us path towards our activities, and I'm very confident that our students will have benefit of your advice and guidance. We hope to see you in our more and more activities and functions, currently online, but very soon in our college. Thank you, madam, for your guidance, motivation, and full support to us as always. Now, may I request Dr. Pramila D'Souza, madam, to introduce our resource person today.
Very good evening to one and all present over here. Saurabh Ganpatiye sir has done his BA Political Science from VJ Vaze College. Sir has also done MA in International Relations from University of Mumbai. Sir has done his LLB from New Law College, and LLM he has specialized in intellectual property rights from NM Institute of Management Studies. Currently, Sir is pursuing Masters in Space and Telecommunication Laws from Nalsar University, Hyderabad. This is really very interesting. Sir has 2 diplomas to add 2 feathers to his cap. One is a diploma in cyber law from Asian School of Cyber Laws, and the second one is Diploma of Journalism from Xavier Institute of Communications. He is associated with Vednim Consulting Services, and his area of work is patent and trademarks. And Sir is currently also working as a faculty for Lakshya for IAS Academy. Sir, my heartiest welcome to you. And having such a young and dynamic resource person today, I'm very sure the students will definitely be enriched from his thoughts as well as from his talks. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, sir. I now request Saurabh sir to take over the session and enlighten our students. Welcome, sir.
Saurabh, you need to unmute.
Sir, unmute.
Thank you, Pramila D'Souza madam. Thank you, Sonali Pednekar madam, and of course, Nikhil Karkane sir. Thank you very much for giving an invitation to me over here. My toughest job for the day is basically to tell you what is the law and what is basically the Constitution of India. Thank you so much for all. Thank you so much all for having those your DPs, WhatsApp DPs, and Facebook DPs in terms of your preamble of the Constitution of India. But today we are starting a discussion from the law point of view. In the sense, what is law basically? What is the requirement of the law? Why do we basically have law in the society? And I would like to go with some kind of presentation that I've prepared for you. Okay. We are beginning with the presentation. I'm sharing the screen before you. Okay. I hope everyone is comfortable with this. Yeah. So topic for the day, which we discussed, I and Nikhil sir discussed, was democracy and constitutionalism. What do we basically mean democracy? And what by democracy, and what do we basically mean by constitutionalism? So at the end of the lecture, I hope I will be succeeding in telling you what is the meaning of democracy and constitutionalism. First, begin with this. I'm going to begin with a slideshow. And the slideshow has some pictures. Some pictures will definitely make you think. Some pictures will make you depressed. Some pictures will make you happy. But I've tried to make it as interesting as possible. So we are beginning with this. The first picture that comes before us, it's very depressing picture. For those who love animals, it might be a mixed feeling because someone is eating and someone is dying. So in the first picture that we see, if herd of lions is behind their prey in jungle, an animal is hunted by lions. So if a herd of lions is behind in jungle for their survival, okay, we generally see, we switch on to National Geographic channel or Animal Planet, whatever channel, we generally see lions are hunting. Sometimes they are successful, sometimes they are not. Okay, but if we see this kind of picture, then we realize it's a jungle law. So one animal killing the other animal, the animal from its own category, or killing a herbivorous animal, or 4 or 5 animals are coming together and killing one animal for their survival. It's very, very, very natural in the jungle law. But is that really possible? Is that really natural or acceptable in the human societies? The answer is definitely not. But if a group of pilgrims is surrounded by dread terrorist group, then it is called a blot of humanity. So from the first from the first slide, we could see an animal, or an animal like lion, is hunting another animal for survival. On the other hand, in the second slide, we are seeing a group of terrorists are on the hunt against the poor pilgrims. Okay. So if you see the similarity between the behavior of lion and the terrorist, there is nothing. There is something similar. There is very much similar. There is no difference between two. But still, what lion does in the jungle is legitimate, and what these terrorists are doing in the society is completely illegitimate. So we are comparing lions with terrorists. Okay, so lion is right, but terrorists are wrong. That's what we say. Okay, and we are right. See, two tigers are coming together. They are fighting for a tigress. It's a normal jungle law. Okay, a tigress is liked by the two tigers. They are coming together. So they fight. They start fighting against each other. And finally, the tiger, whoever wins, whichever tiger wins, has a copulation with the tigress. The best part of this is the powerful tiger wins, and the tigress has a copulation with the most powerful tiger. So it's good for the progeny. So two tigers are coming together for a tigress, or two males are coming together for a female. It's a very normal aspect of the jungle law. There is nothing called the gentleness and all, okay? But on the other hand, fighting men is lawlessness. Here we could see two tigers. I mean, they are from the same category. They are fighting against each other for a beautiful tigress or beautiful female. On the other hand, males are coming together. They are pelting stones against this poor policeman. Okay, this if you know this, this is from any part of India. It's not from Kashmir, not from Mumbai, not from Tamil Nadu. Any part of India you can see, or any part of the world you can see, there is an unrest against the situation, and people come on street. But still, this is illegitimate. So this is legitimate, and this is illegitimate. I'll go ahead. Hence, today we observe that the human society is more disciplined than the animals, and the best part of more disciplined than the animals, and best part of that is existence that we generally see. Just a minute. Okay, fine. So best part of that is we generally come together, we have a coexistence, and because of that, human among the bigger animals, human is it's perhaps the only animal which does not have problem for its existence. Okay, so what happens is that here all animals are fighting with each other. They're dying with they are dying by fighting with each other, and on the other hand, we are seeing the human beings, if they fight with each other, that is considered illegal by the law. So here I remember what Mr. John Stuart Mill said. He said that you have to stop the absolute liberty of few to protect the relative liberty of all. In the sense, suppose you want to drive a vehicle, be it two-wheeler, four-wheeler, whatever. You want to drive a two-wheeler with huge amount of speed, okay, and then the road is not that great for that particular vehicle, okay, and then you are not allowing others to either drive or even walk freely on the street. This particular behavior is really illegal, and your absolute liberty is to drive freely by whatever speed you want. But relative liberty of all is definitely being able to walk freely on road. Means you don't drive speedily, you don't drive with speed, others will drive or walk freely. So your absolute liberty is curbed, it's prevented to protect the relative liberty of all. That is what the law is all about. Okay, so laws are not just commands of sovereign. Okay, some people say, I mean, laws are commands of sovereign. That's absolutely right. I mean, it's the statement of John Stuart Mill. Laws are commands of sovereign. Okay. But what happens is that in today's context, laws are important in dealing with crimes, business agreements, and even social relationships. So what happens is that when we have one particular law for the land, that's called a fundamental law of the land. The constitution today, or constitution in any point of time, at any point of time, is definitely called the fundamental law of the land. That is the point of discussion we were supposed to have today. Okay, now of course, this 26th of November 1949, that, I mean, today is also 26th of November, and we have two very different and very important events drilled in our mind. The first is the making of our constitution, and 2008, what happened in this country, the gruesome attack on this land, that was also on 26th of November. So we call it 2611, but this particular day is also called as a Constitution Day of India. Okay, so we have this preamble. Okay, what happens? Why do we have this preamble? I mean, preamble is a beginning note. Okay, beginning note in the sense, so whenever we open a book, we have a monologue. I mean, what a writer wants to say. We always have something before the book begins. Okay, and in that case, whatever one writer wants to say is written in this. But if we read that well, and if we read the mind of the writer, we can try to understand what is there in the book. In the sense, if we read that, we understand what's there in the book, and then we come to know the flavor of that particular book. So in the sense, preamble preamble is called as some kind of monologue of the writers. Okay, so we have, see what is written in the preamble. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved, I'm just reading the first frame of the preamble. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic, and to secure its all citizens justice, social, economic, possible, political, liberty of thoughts, expressions, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, ensuring the dignity of individuals and unity of nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, we do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So what happens is, we the people of India, the constitution is on the name of the people of India. We the people of India. That these words are very, very important. These words, apart from Indian constitution, American constitution is the one which begins with the preamble. Okay. And the we the people of India was considered as really very important note at the beginning of preamble. And then we see the second frame. Okay, this frame is a bit changed. The fonts are changed, and what is found in the second frame is, you can see three words are added. So in the second line, we were beginning with sovereign democratic republic. In third line, we are beginning with sovereign socialist secular democratic republic. So socialist and secular are two words which are added. And then if we go down, okay, if we go down, we have the word integrity and preserving unity, ensuring the dignity of individuals and unity and integrity of the nation. Unity and integrity of the nation. Okay, so unity was there only, integrity was newly added. So sovereign, socialist, and integrity. Sorry, socialist, secular, and integrity. These three words were added by the 42nd Amendment Act. In the bottom of the second frame, you can find 42nd Amendment Act plays the word sovereign democratic republic was there. Now it became sovereign socialist secular democratic republic, and now we have integrity, okay, unity and integrity of the nation. Fine. Now, what is the importance of these words? I mean, if you go on reading this Constitution of India, although it looks like a 15, 16 odd lines document, okay, what is so important about this? The meaning of sovereign. The first meaning of sovereign is you have independent in decision making, independence in decision making. Because as far as the legal value is concerned for the word sovereign, it's different. Any nation state, any state or any nation state has four features. First is, of course, the government. Second is the land. Third is the population, and fourth is sovereignty. But these are the features taken in the political science. But law says that population, government, also have land, and of course the ability of the nation to enter into contract. That is the fourth feature of a country. So when a nation has independence to come into contract, that means that when the nation has a decision making freedom, that nation is called as a sovereign nation. So truly India became sovereign on 15th of August 1947. Okay. Now we have two very important words. I'm not taking socialist and secular right now. I'm just taking after 5 minutes. Now we have two very important words after sovereign. See, in the first frame, you can find democratic and republic. What do you mean by democratic and republic? Democratic and republic, we generally have a confusion, because democracy in Hindi we call Loktantra, and republic in Hindi we call Ganatantra. Okay. In Sanskrit, in Marathi, we call Prajasattak, and democracy we call Lokshahi. Okay. So Lokshahi, Prajasattak, Loktantra, Ganatantra. I mean, these words really make confusion in the minds of people. I don't want to get into the role of those people who decided these words for these two English words, but democracy and republic have lot of difference. Generally, we take these things together, but let me just put it in this way. The nations which are democratic are not necessarily republic. The nations, you heard it right, the nations which are democratic are not necessarily republican, whereas the nations which are republic may or may not be democratic. I mean, it's very confusing. I mean, till now you were considering democracy and republic together, but if they are together, if they have same meaning, then why do we have democracy and republic, two separately written words? Democracy has a lot of in-depth meaning, whereas republic has a very simple and special meaning. The meaning of republic is head of the nation is elected by the people. I mean, I repeat, head of the nation is elected by the people. So Republic of United States, I mean, very recently, they had elections of the president, and president is elected by the people. He's directly elected by the people. So they were a republic, they are a republic, and the president is elected by the people. So head of the nation is the president. He is elected by the people. That's called republic. Are we a republic? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But do we elect our president? Yes, we do. But we do not elect our president in a direct manner. In direct manner, I mean, we indirectly elect our president. I repeat, we indirectly or non-directly elect our president. So how? We elect our MPs, and those elected MLAs and MPs are voting for the president. So the people who are voted by us are voting for someone else. So our vote is indirectly going for someone else. My MLA is voting for someone else. That means my vote is only going for someone else. Okay, got it? And because of that, these elections of president are indirect elections held in India. We generally had a discussion. Why don't we have direct elections? But that particular thought was stuck down with two assumptions. First is, it's the expensive nature of direct elections of the president. Yeah, I mean, you know, the expenditure in the Lok Sabha elections and Vidhan Sabha also. One more elections with every 5 years on the head of the people could have been very expensive. And secondly, if the if the president is directly elected, then there might be some trouble with the decision making. I mean, if president is elected directly by the people and prime minister is the not directly elected by the people, his party is elected by the people, and he's the head of the party. So head of the party which is elected by the people and directly the person who is elected by the people, there could have been a tussle between two parties as to who should be, on the issue of who should be the real ruler, or the I must say the real executive of the country. I mean, president is nominal in our constitution. Prime minister is the real head of the nation, or real executive of the nation. Okay, so president is nominal, prime minister is real, but there could have been differences of opinion about the executive head of the nation, okay, or de facto authority of the nation. So president is de jure, nominal, and prime minister is de facto. So that is the importance of republic. So simple meaning of republic is head of the nation is elected by the people, whereas we have democratic. What is the meaning of democracy? See, democracy has huge space, huge expansive space. Okay, in a sense, democracy has 4 pillars. First pillar of democracy is the legislature, that is the lawmaking body of the nation, which is directly related by the people. We have legislature in the sense we have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha, we have Vidhan Sabha, we also have Vidhan Parishad, we even have the Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, we also have the Zilla Parishad, we have Panchayat Samiti, we have municipal corporations. These municipal corporations make laws for the city, Zilla Parishad for district, Panchayat Samiti for taluka, Gram Panchayat for the village. Vidhan Sabha makes it, or Vidhan Parishad both together make for the state, and Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha together make laws for the whole nation. So the peoply elected legislature, legislative body is the first prime feature of, or the first prime pillar of the democracy. Second pillar is the judiciary, that may, that can, I mean, rather that makes the interpretation of the law. So sometimes it happens that legislature is crossing the limits. It is the judiciary which shows the limits to the legislature. So sometimes the law which is made by the legislature is proven null and void by the judiciary. So independent judiciary, which gives justice, which administers justice, and which also interprets the law, it's the second pillar of democracy. Third is of course the republic. Third is of course the you can say executives. The meaning of executives is from the president of India till the sarpanch of the village. So sarpanch of the village, or the panchayat samiti adhyaksh, ZP adhyaksh. We also have the ministers, council of ministers. Then we have CM. Then we have council of ministers in the union. We have prime minister, and then we have the president of India. These are the executives, and we also have the executives. I mean, there is a way to call even the government servants executives. Okay, so these executives basically implement the laws. So executives who are implementing laws, they are the third pillar of democracy. Fourth very important pillar of democracy that has come upstage, especially in last 100 years, that is the media. Media is considered the fourth important pillar of democracy. So if any one of this is gone, the democratic structure of the nation comes down. So we have taken media, we have taken legislature, we have taken executives, and we also have taken this judiciary. Then we have the set of fundamental rights for the people. Every nation is known by the rights it is providing to its citizens. So for example, suppose if you are in a country like Saudi Arabia, you are sitting in your home, and then suddenly you realize there is a knocking on door. If you don't open the door, knocking will convert into banging. You have to go and open the door. You will find 6.5 feet Arab standing before you. You have only option to allow him to enter. You have only option to allow him to enter home. The Arab comes in, and then he can also see if you have any statue, if you have any god statue in the house. And then he makes it sure that you don't have any god statue in the house. If he finds the god statue, might be Jesus Christ, might be any Hindu god, okay, Jain god, Sikh god, whoever, you are given the first warning that this will not be done. I mean, this is not proper, and you have to stop this business. And uske baad, if you don't agree with it, you don't have choice basically. And after that, if you carry the same thing, second is not a warning, you are directly punished. So someone first of all bangs on your door, then you open the door, and then someone enters forcefully, makes it sure that you are not worshipping any god. And then if you worship the god which they don't want, you are given the first warning, and also you are given the punishment if you are given the second warning. Okay, so here what happens is that this is not a democratic country, I must say. This is not a democratic country. I will give you one more example of at least, but Saudi Arabia does not have republic. Saudi Arabia has a ruler. UAE, Saudi Arabia, these countries have rulers. I'll go for a country which is not a democratic country, but still it's the republican country. Okay, republic. I'll take the example of China. What happened was that in the area of Wuhan, coronavirus broke out, and doctors, all professionals, and the COVID warriors, they were all telling the others not to reveal a single word about coronavirus. So China successfully but forcefully oppressed the news of coronavirus. Even when humans were affecting each other with coronavirus, China was hardly in a position to accept the coronavirus situation. Because initially China was saying there is nothing called coronavirus. After that, China started saying there is something called coronavirus, but it transmits from animals to animals and not animals to human or human to human. And after that, when humans started affecting each other, China somehow accepted. But before that, China made it sure that the international flights from China will go to other states, whereas the domestic flights of China were off. So from Wuhan to Shanghai, corona did not spread. From Wuhan to Nanking or Beijing, we don't find there is a travel of corona. But Wuhan to Milan, Italy, okay, or from Wuhan to other parts of the world, the coronavirus had definitely gone. This is what we have in a non-democratic country. So China is a republic. Head of the nation is elected by the people. But how? China has only one party, and the one party will give all the candidates to you, and you are supposed to select the candidate of that party only. Suppose here, if you don't like a candidate from BJP, you have the option to go for the candidate of Congress. If you don't like Congress candidate too, you have option to go for Janta Dal United candidate. If you don't like JDU also, you can go for MNS, you can go Shiv Sena. You can go for any choice. You can go for an independent candidate also. But in China, if you don't agree with the People's Republican, the main party of China, okay, China is called as People's Republic of China, okay. But if Communist Party of China is, you're not well with the ideology of Communist Party of China, then you don't have any choice. You either vote or don't, but you will be getting members. You will be getting candidates from one party itself. So one party is not a democracy. So we also have multi-party system in democracy. So on that wider terms, yes, China is not a democracy. Yes, China is a republic because head is elected by the people. Then we go for the justice, that is social, economic, and political. These justice, liberty, and equality things are interwoven. I'll just give you one beautiful example. What do you mean by the justice? Okay. Generally, just imagine a drawing or imagining a cartoon. And in that cartoon, there is a competition to climb on the top of the tree. Okay. And the top of the top of the tree. And who are the contestants? The tree is in jungle. The first contestant is, of course, a tiger. Second contestant is a monkey. Third contestant is a snake. Fourth contestant is a man. And fifth contestant is an elephant. Okay. Now all are given one chance to get on the top. Now who will be winning? It's always monkey. Monkey will take no time to get on the top. Tiger may or may not go. Elephant will not even think of it. Snake will take a lot of time to get on the top. Okay. So these are the capacities of every animal, every type of. So here what happens is that even if you give them 7 chances, 10 chances, 15 chances, monkey is definitely going to win. Because monkey has the virtue of getting on the top in no time. And if you keep bird in as a contestant or eagle as a contestant, I'm sure eagle will overtake monkey also. So basically the entire system which we are talking about, entire competition which we are talking about is completely illegitimate competition. This competition does not have justice. So what happens is that how justice will prevail? Justice will prevail when we provide equality to the people. And equality is not equal number of chances. Equality is not equal number of chances. It is the equality of opportunity. Opportunity is again not chances. What you have to do is if you are trying to have this particular competition, but you don't have any choice. For elephant, you have to bring the height of the tree down, or you have to bring a benchmark of the tree down. For a monkey, you have to say that, boss, you have to go on the top at least thrice. For tiger, you have to increase time. Again, for a snake, you have to increase time. So what happens with every type of animal, you will have to make a certain amount of changes in the benchmark. And that particular benchmark, according to the category of the animals, and in human context, that benchmark according to the category of the people is nothing but the reservation. Okay. So people who are culturally superior, people who are financially well off, they are given lesser amount of chances. Their benchmark is also high. But the people who are culturally were considered culturally inferior, people who were considered people who still are financially not that well off. Okay, they have a lot of problem in making their career. They are given more amount of chances, and the benchmark is also low. Okay, so this is how justice and equality come go hand in hand. Then we have the concept of liberty. We have liberty. See, liberty of thoughts, expressions, belief, faith, and worship. Now, just take an example. Just take an example. Okay, you understand something. Okay, and your understanding is different from the others. Now let's take an example. Okay, generally what happens is that we have a lot of faith in the system, in the prevailing system. We have a lot of faith uh, on the traditions, okay, cultures, customs, folks, etc., etc. Okay, and sometimes, I mean, rather many times, something that is prevalent in thinking for last thousands of years is considered right. Okay, now for example, just I'm not going to hurt anyone's feeling, I hope. Now it's all about considering an animal as mother. Let's take cow. It's not about, it's all about considering an animal, a cow, as mother. Those who want to consider cow as mother, those who want to consider cow as mother, they are free to do so. Those who don't want to consider cow as mother, they are free to do so. But then what happens is that sometimes, I mean, people have a tendency. Cow is eating something on any of the sides of roads, and people go and, you know, touch the cow, and just sort of expression of worship. I mean, feeding the cow is also called as a very good holy work. Okay, that's good. But suppose if I go and tell then those people that, boss, that cow which you are touching, or the cow which you are worshipping, the cow which you are respecting, is a British cow, or a Dutch cow. Okay, I mean, I have a right to do so, because that cow might be a British cow. If I go and tell that fellow that cow might be a British cow, that cow might be a Dutch cow, and if the person gets angry, then I have a right to be right at my own place. At the same time, he also has a right to be a devotee of cow at his own place. What happens is that generally, my question to that person is, if I find a cow is Dutch or the British, and if you come to know that the cow is Dutch or British, you should respect the cow equally well. Equally, I mean, if it is an Indian cow, then the cow is holy. If the British and Dutch cow, the cow is not holy. That I would go and tell him. But at that time, he should be in a position to accept that I have right to say whatever I want. So here, what I have enjoyed is I have liberty of thought. That means I thought independently. I realized the cow is not an Indian cow, but she again should be worshipped well. Then I have right to expression. I just went to him or her and told that, yeah, this cow is so and so. I have belief. He has belief that cow is still for us. He has liberty of faith, and he also have liberty of worship. The way he's worshipping the cow as of now, he has that right. So what happens is that generally generally, you know, our parents are saying, आज के बच्चे हमारा कुछ सुनते नहीं है, and बच्चे सुनते नहीं है, या फिर we have a lot of fight in the family. Sometimes it's not just fight. Sometimes those are debates. Those are debates because we have freedom of thoughts, and we also have freedom of expressions. So you may realize if there are some you know, healthy but heated discussions in the family, that means the family has liberty of thought, and family has liberty of expressions. It's always good for the healthy growth and evolution of that particular family. Then we also have fraternity, assuring dignity of the individuals and the unity of the nation. I just told you in the example of those terrorists, and also that lion. So coming back to this second frame of the democracy, second frame of the preamble, we have these two words, socialist and secular. Now, what do you mean by secular? According to the source which I use, I generally use D.D. Basu or M. Lakshmikant. There are two versions of secularism. First version is the pure Indian version. Second version is a European version. Okay. Indian version of secularism, I don't know why, but it goes for the concept of Sarva Dharma Samabhav. So all religions are treated equally. It's good. I mean, it's Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Parsi, Christianity, Judaism, whichever religion is in India should be treated equally. That's good. But what happens is that, suppose if I have I have a question, ki I do not follow any religion, so how will I be treated? Will I be treated equally with them? Because what happens is that in some countries, if you don't follow any religion, that is taken as blasphemy. It's taken as pakhand. So the treatment or the punishment is really very harsh. But in European secularism, what happens is, in European secularism, you have right to follow any religion, but you have right to follow no religion also. See, secularism has come from a very important mindset. Secularism has come from a thought that man is very, very matured, and he knows, and he basically knows how to choose the government, what business he should do, and what religion he should have. So there is no business of the government to get into his business. So if he follows any religion, it has nothing to do with the state, or state has nothing to do with it. If he follows no religion, again same. If he follows any profession, okay, the state has no business in it, provided the man is not at all harming any other people. And on the other hand, finally, man has right to choose his government. So when you have right to choose the government, of course you have democracy. When you have right to choose your own business profession, that's called capitalism. And when you have right to choose your own religion, that's called the secularism. That's a pure European version of secularism. Our version of secularism is different. With some examples of people like Adolf Hitler in Germany and also in France, showing religious symbols was not allowed for so many years, was not allowed. But in India, every religion is allowed, every religious symbol is allowed, every religious procession, every religious celebration is allowed. So we have a very different kind of culture in this country. Then I come to the last point in the preamble, that's called socialism. Now, what do you mean by socialism? There are general, I mean, you cannot define socialism at one go, because there is a very funny statement, but it's a real statement by one thinker. Socialism is the cap which has lost its shape. Okay, so you cannot decide, or you cannot define socialism. But yes, generally socialism has some important features. There is we and not I in socialism. I'm talking about the literal things, because China calls herself a socialist country, and in China there is nothing called we. There is always called I, and I is with government only. Okay, because all many countries which consider themselves socialists are dictatorial countries. So it's just on paper. So there is we and not I. There is cooperation, not the competition. There is no exploitation, there is welfare. There is no profit, there is service. Okay, so profit against service, collective authority of property, we and not I. Then we have exploitation, no exploitation, but welfare. Okay, these are important things of socialism. Okay, features of socialism that we have accepted. Are we really going towards that socialist mindset, or have we given up socialism? That might be a topic of debate, but I will not get into it right now. So I go for some other parts. Here, when I said constitution is the fundamental law of the land, it's important for me to go for the important features of the constitution. Most important features are, of course, the fundamental rights. I just said sometimes back, fundamental rights are the people. I mean, every country is recognized by the rights it is providing to its people. And rights are those conditions without which you cannot achieve your best. You cannot seek your best. This is the definition by Harold Lasky. And every country is recognized by the rights it is providing to its citizens. So fundamental rights are important rights which are provided to our citizens by the constitution. So we have right to equality. I just told you what is the meaning of right to equality. Right to freedom. Right to freedom has very important rights. Right to freedom has very, very important rights. Remember, right to freedom has some very important rights because this canvas is really very big, ranging from confession of a prisoner in the police custody till the exploitation of a woman in her office by her superior. Okay, every aspect of right is considered in this. Okay, so we have right to freedom of speech and expressions in this. I just gave you the example of freedom of speech and expressions. Then we have right to assemble peacefully without arms. We have right to form association and cooperatives. We have right to freedom of movement. We have right to freedom of residing anywhere in the country, and right to freedom of choosing our own job or our own profession. I just discussed it some. Okay, that comes in the freedoms which are provided here. But apart from that, we have right to freedom of life. That is most important. In this right to freedom of life, we also have freedom of education, a very important aspect. Okay, so that's it's about right to education, not just right to freedom of education, it's right to education. And we have right to freedom of life. Right to freedom of life looks one and a half line, but right against torture in police custody, right against rape, right against molestation, right to speedy trial in the court cases, right to even fresh drinking water, right against the pollution, right to fresh air, right, and finally, I mean, you will be surprised, right to have a proper insurance policy. Even that comes in your right to life. There are almost 35 to 36 aspects which are coming under this right to freedom of life. But of course, those aspects are coming with every decision that is delivered by the court of law. So I just said, court of law is the interpreter of the law. Right to freedom, suppose if it's right to freedom, then what comes in right to freedom will be interpreted by the court of law. Okay, then we have right against exploitation. We are considering we are considering system of sati devdasi. We are considering system of children exploitation, children working in factories. We are considering the system of the brothels in this country. Okay, the red light areas, their problem in this country. Okay, so sexual exploitation, mental exploitation, all is considered here. Then we have right to freedom of religion, where you have right to possess any property that is related to religion, movable, immovable property. You have right to, right to expand your religion. You have right to campaign for your religion. Okay, so profess, propagate your religion. You can do that. You have right to say no to any religious prayers also. So right to say no to the religious prayers or religious rituals, even that is considered here. Okay, and you have also right to say no to the payment of taxes for the promotion of any religion. So you have right to collect the taxes, but you have right to say no to the collection of any taxes. You have right to pray, but you have right not to pray. Okay, so these are the things which are considered in the freedom of religion. Then we have cultural and education rights. Cultural and educational rights are taken in two aspects. First is the religious aspect, second is the linguistic aspect. So if people belong to one religion, want to start a school or college that is for their own religion, their own culture, they are allowed to do so. If a person speaks in Kannada, wants to begin a Kannada school in Maharashtra, he has a right to do so. If a person is Catholic by religion, wants to start a college which may provide education to Catholic people, he has right to do so. Okay, so which language you are learning in, which language you want to preserve, which religion you want to preserve through education. Okay, all rights are basically given to you. So you have right to establish and administer the education institutes also if you are a minority. And finally, we have right to constitutional remedies. Okay, I hope many of you have watched the movie called Drishyam. Okay, it's a very beautiful example. In the Drishyam movie, Ajay Devgan is in canteen, and suddenly, uh, a couple comes, an old couple comes, and their child is taken forcefully by the inspector called Gaitonde. And couple says that we are not in a position to meet the child. And after that, Ajay Devgan gives them advice that file habeas corpus. If you file habeas corpus, then Gaitonde will have to present that particular man in the court of law, and then the court will decide. And after 3 or 4 scenes, Gaitonde comes in the canteen fuming. Who told them to file the habeas corpus? That means Gaitonde had to release. Similarly, Arnav Goswami's habeas corpus case was passed by, habeas corpus case was handled by the Supreme Court. Okay. And finally, he was released because of that particular case. Okay. So we have right to constitutional remedies. So not just habeas corpus. If a government servant is not doing your job, you have right to get a order from the court asking the person to do the job. If the government, if any minister or if any government servant is taking a decision which is not really in his authority, still you have a right to bring the order from the court, stopping the person from taking that particular decision. The different rights you have. This was the most important fundamental right provided by the constitution, and this particular right was called a very important right by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Okay, so if Babasaheb Ambedkar said that if I'm asked about the importance of fundamental rights, then this right stands as the most important right. Okay, these are some see, this is the freedom of expressions. I mean, from cartoon you will realize she's Indira Gandhi holding the Statue of Liberty on ransom. Okay, the cartoonist was R.K. Lakshman here, and this cartoon was really very famous. Okay, this is again, I mean, this is 1975 Congress defeat in 1977 Congress defeat in general elections. That man is common man who is having the coat of checks. Okay, and we have emergency Congress. These are very important landmark, cartoons in the evolution of the Constitution of India. But that is a different topic. We can discuss that some other day. Apart from that, we have directive principles of state policy, the guiding stars for the administration, fundamental in the governance of the country. We have parliamentary democracy with president as the head of the state. We discussed that. President as the head of the state, we are a republic, and we have parliamentary form of democracy. The party which wins the general elections forms the government, and head of the party or the main leader of the party becomes a prime minister. The system we have taken from the British Constitution. Okay, so in British Constitution, the Queen remains superior. After Queen comes the religious figures. Okay, and then third part comes the prime minister of the country, prime minister of that particular country. Okay, and still the prime minister is the de facto authority of Britain, whereas Queen is a de jure authority but still head of the nation. We had no chance or option of having British Queen as the head of the nation, so we came to the conclusion that we will have a indirectly elected president as the head of the nation, but still the elected the de facto authority is the prime minister who runs the country. Then we have federal status with it's federal states with unitary bias. We have federal states with unitary bias in the sense we have the unique union and state relations. Union has some laws, state has some laws. States and union may fight against each other, they may cooperate well against each other, but at the same time, although states have their own laws to decide, own policies to decide, more power is given to the union government. More power is given to the union government. States are less powerful. It is because there are many states in India, say northeastern states, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab. Then we also have Dravidistan movement from South Indian states, which were trying to go out of this country. Okay. Because of that, it was really very important to have a strong, powerful union working as the parent who can solve the problems between the fighting children, and that's what the constitution works as. Okay, so yes, total amendment 104, we had 26th of November 1949, we had 395 articles, 8 schedules. Today we have 460 plus articles and 12 schedules. Total amendments 104. I mean, it is huge. So constitution is flexible. Flexibility is not necessarily a virtue of democracy, because what happens is that when there is one person ruling, he can amend the constitution the way he wants. One party ruling, they can amend the constitution the way they want. That is a flexibility. But when we have rigidity, what is the rigidity? We have to take all the people into consideration. We have to walk with them, we have to walk with them together. And that takes a lot of time. So the system or the process becomes rigid. Okay, there is no flexibility in the process. But that is the real virtue of the democracy. So the Indian constitution is so capacious in the nature that there are abundant possibilities of amendment in any sections. So we cannot say that Indian constitution has been amended 104 times. There are 104 amendments in the Constitution of India. So 395 plus articles, now 460 articles, and then say 104 amendments. Still, that number is pretty understandable. But what is the importance of this constitution is something that changes with time always remains relevant. Okay, because the such kind of changes, say 104 changes in 70 years, 71 years, it's huge. But at the same time, it is also considered that yes, that constitution has really kept its pace in the course of time with the running time, and because of that, it is still relevant. It was relevant in 1949. It is still relevant in 2020. Okay, so I here stop my discussion and I'm throwing the ball in your court. If any of you wants to ask a question, I'm free to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh sir. It was a wonderful discussion, and to summarize such a vast topic within a time bound period, it's a great challenge. And I'm sure the basics that our students require, because these are commerce students, and some of them will learn business law, some of them are from IT background, so they may not have that much of exposure to law during their through their syllabus. So but I think it's a good starting point that we have given them. Some of them are just joined the college, so for them to have this perspective about constitution, I think it is really important and significant step in their academic life. Dear students, if you have any doubts, queries, or if you want to have any if you want to further read anything related to constitution, you can ask sir. He will be happy to guide you regarding your doubts. You can post them in your chat box, in the chat box. I think they'll take some time to absorb this information. And we have also had YouTube live of this session. So we also had YouTube live of this session. So I'm sure they will get opportunity to revisit this webinar again and again whenever they feel interested in the topic of constitution.
If possible, kindly provide me the link of this.
Yes,
YouTube.
yes, I will immediately. If there are no questions,
Can I say something?
yeah, of course, ma'am. I was rather waiting for your comment to come.
No, I think Advocate Saurabh Ganpati put it across so beautifully that it was very self-explanatory. I'm sure it's given the students a lot of food for thought, lot of things to mull over, because the insight that he gave about every word in the preamble makes it very interesting, helps the students to really realize what the makers of the constitution wanted us to be and how they wanted the nation to shape. So I think that job of communicating that thought was very well put across by Saurabh. Wonderful job, Saurabh, as usual.
Yes, yes, rightly said, ma'am. And I'm sure our faculties of foundation course will have a lot of material to discuss
Yeah,
back in classroom.
actually, I will say that as well, that a lot of task has been made easy by this talk today.
Yes, because for FY BCom, SY BCom, and as well as I think the same topic maybe in other courses also, foundation course. But for FY BCom and SY BCom for 4 semesters, they have this, and they can cover wide topics, and the bedrock of those discussions, I think, come from our constitution. So students will be very happy to learn many concepts which will be actually discussed in classroom, and they can through their presentation and projects, they can use their creativity, I think, to express their own ideas about this topic. I would this is this we have been, I think, this I think today's session has been, very interesting, because it did not feel any a formal kind of discussion at all. But जसं आपण म्हणतो की आपल्याकडे पद्धत असते आणि एक कोलोक्युअल एक्सप्रेशन आहे की शास्त्र असतं. सो प्रत्येक आफ्टर एव्हरी program, we take opportunity to formally express our vote of thanks. So I would like to welcome Professor Jain Ghorpade sir, Program Officer of NSS, to express vote of thanks of today's webinar. Jain sir. Jain sir? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening, all of you. I am really very happy. It's really indeed great pleasure, I can say, that to propose vote of thanks in this very important online program at this very beautiful evening and very important day, that is the Constitution Day, on which actually we all are have some bindings that yes, definitely we must celebrate this day of Constitution. First of all, I would like to propose the vote of thanks. I would like to thank Advocate Saurabh Ganpate sir for sparing your precious time at this beautiful evening and explaining us the importance of the Indian Constitution and its values in detail, with, we can say, rather great detail, with appropriate examples. Sir has also explained the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution, and also the fundamental rights have also been explained with the good examples. Sir has also touched to the directive principles of state policies and many other important, we can say, important facets of the Indian Constitution. Thank you very much, sir. I think being advocate, really, you have been, help, we can say, able to deliver the minor details of the Constitution. Thank you very much, sir. Then I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Sonali Pednekar, madam, for spending time in this evening. At the evening, actually, we have very rare programs. So thank you very much, madam, for coming at this time and for your moral support. Then I would like to thank our faculty members, our law faculty, Dr. Pramila D'Souza, madam, for being here and introducing the speaker today. I would also like to extend our heartiest thanks to our beloved professor from science, that is Dr. Hiren Dunn sir, for delivering all the technical help and all type of technical expertise providing to us. Then Amit sir, who is also pursuing his law. I think he must have completed his law by this time. For he is also there all the time with us and extending all types of help. Thank you, Amit sir. Then also I would like to thank our program officer, Dr. Professor Nikhil Karkani sir, who is also NSSPO of our college and recently has been nominated for the best PO in the Mumbai University jurisdiction. Thank you very much, sir, for arranging such a beautiful program and helping us.
Sir, this is our duty, sir. No need to thank, sir.
Yes, really, to bring such a we can say knowledgeable expert person, and who is, you can say, really a champion, who has explained us the constitution in detail, and being faculty of foundation course, I really thank you, sir. Really, we have also got a lot of hints to discuss this preamble in our classroom. Thank you, sir. And not last at least, I also would like to thank all our students, volunteers, those who have spent spared, we can see, this evening to celebrate this Constitution Day. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, all of you, and all those who are there. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jain sir. Dear students, thank you for participating. Formally, we are closing today's event, and I'm sure your worries of your data pack have reached me. And so you may require some data pack at night for your study purpose, I'm sure. So formally, we are calling this session as closed. However, I request Saurabh sir to stay back if he can spend some time with us for a small informal chat. Students can leave the session.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.